The story of the San Francisco Giants is legendary. In my years as the official voice of the Giants, I've had the privilege to meet countless players and personalities whose passion for this team is only matched by their love for the game. Their stories are intertwined within the fabric of this team's history. They are forever Giants.
And there's a line drive into right field. On comes Felder, makes the catch.
Michael Otis Felder played in the major leagues from 1985 to 1994. At just 5 feet 8 inches, the nickname Tiny fit his frame, but not his big personality. He played for 4 teams during his career, but it was 32 miles south of his hometown of Vallejo, California, that he felt most at home.
Driving Brooks back to the fence, and it's off the fence. It will score Anderson.
In his 2 years with the Giants, he left a lasting impact on San Francisco, winning the esteemed Willie Mac Award, solidifying himself as a forever Giant. Well, it's terrific to be back at Silver Oak Cellars, and I am joined for this episode by forever Giant Mike Tiny Felder. Your time with us was brief, but it was very memorable. 2 seasons with your hometown team, the Giants.
2 seasons, 2 great seasons.
Yes.
God dog, if it wasn't for that doggone sale of the team to Tampa Bay, I should have had more.
That's right, that's right. But you got those 2.
Yeah, but those two years in San Francisco was the best time of my life.
That's so great. That's so
My
great.
2 greatest years in the big leagues. I was at home, able to play in front of all my friends and family.
You said you played Little League and everything. When did you start playing? Did you play more than just baseball? Did you play other sports as well, or was baseball your jam?
Football was number 1,
Okay.
but what got me started in the sports field was bowling.
Really?
Started bowling when I was 10.
Okay.
And from bowling, it went from September to like May. And from bowling, I started meeting guys that I was bowling against. So when baseball season came around for Richmond Boys baseball, they all were playing, or different ones' dads was coaching. So they said, hey man, you ought to come out for baseball. And bowling led into baseball from the connections I made through the bowling alley.
Okay.
So I started playing baseball when I was 10.
So tell me about your high school career at Kennedy High School, your baseball career.
Oh man, Kennedy. It was fun. Kennedy, I had a good time at Kennedy. I didn't play no sports at Kennedy in the 9th grade. I felt I was too small.
Oh, you felt that?
I felt man, my 9th grade year, those guys looked like they was in college. And guys walking around with beards, and back then you had the pork chop sideburns, and them guys, they just looked so old.
Yeah.
And 9th grade, I was 102.
Oh, man.
And then I was about 5'2". So.
Thus the nickname Tiny.
So no way in the world I was going to be playing football or anything at Kennedy in 9th grade. Man, them dudes were too big.
Okay.
So I started my 10th grade year, played football, which carried into baseball.
Now, you have a successful career in high school. Are you thinking about, you want to play pro ball? Are you thinking it's a possibility in your world?
At that time, we was looking at sports as a way of trying to get in a school.
Right.
We're trying to get a scholarship because our parents didn't have the money to pay for no 4-year college and all of that kind of stuff. So it was more of a vehicle to try to move to the next level. Mm-hmm. And once I left Kennedy, I ended up going to Sacramento State for a semester. And I let all my friends talk me into coming back home, playing with them at Contra Costa. Because all my friends, they was at Contra Costa CC, and I'm at Sac State. And I'm like, nah, man, I'm having too much fun at Sac. Man, I'm loving it down here. But they kept on, man, we need a shortstop, we need a shortstop, we need a shortstop. So it was during my semester break, I was at home. And then from being at home, I made the mistake. I went out there and watched them practice. I was, man, let me get out here and help these dudes.
Exactly.
And I ended up coming back, which turned out to be the best move I ever made. Because I just played 1 year at Contra Costa and ended up signing.
Well, I guess we should address, how did you get the nickname? Did somebody give it to you, or how did that happen? Because we all call you Tiny now.
Well, Tiny came from the minor leagues.
Okay.
And I was known as Scoot at Contra Costa. I was Scoot because I was scooting around the bases. But
that's a good one, too.
I was in the California League playing in Stockton, and we had a rain delay up in Reno. So we had a guy on the team. He was like a big comedian. He did Howard Cosell's impersonations all the time. So we in this long rain delay, and he started going into his Howard Cosell, Frazier down, Muhammad Ali. So he just going through his front. So then after he did Muhammad Ali, Howard Cosell stint, then he started going down the dugout like a comedian to do if you had a comedian show.
Yeah.
And he started singling out players. And so I saw him getting closer and closer to me. I'm like, oh God, what is Maury gonna say when he get to me? And I wasn't supposed to be on a team. That was my first year. I was supposed to go to rookie ball, but I started in Stockton because they had a bunch of injuries.
Okay.
So rookie ball was getting ready. It was like 3 weeks away. So when he came to me, and who do we have here? Mike, little Tiny Felder. So tell me, Tiny, do you think you're gonna stay with the Stockton Ports, or you gonna report to the Butte Copper Kings? And when he just said, little Tiny Felder, I've been tiny ever since.
Ever since. So you were drafted by the Brewers, and then you were called up in September of '85. And tell me about that. What do you remember about getting that call? How were you told, and what was that moment like for you?
It was a great feeling. It was like finally, because '85, they were calling me up in August. I was in AAA in Vancouver. We blew the first half. We messed around and lost the first half in the last series of the first half. So we had to win the second half to make it to the playoffs. So we were rolling. We steamrolling through the PCL. They were calling me up in August because Milwaukee was 30-something games out at the All-Star break. So they was telling them, why don't you bring your young guys up and give them a chance to play? So I'm like, I'm feeling Ricky Henderson. Because Ricky was my idol. Ricky was one of my idols. He was a base stealer.
Yeah.
I was a base stealer. I saw how Ricky shot up to Oakland. So I'm trying to follow Ricky trail.
Yeah.
And I said, if I get called up in Oakland, in August, Ricky got called up in August. Ricky stole 33 bases in a month and a half. I'm all on Ricky history.
Yes.
So I'm getting word. I got guys coming up to me. Oh, Milwaukee calling you up. Milwaukee calling you up. For 2 days, I said, man, I ain't going nowhere. I said, ain't nobody told me nothing. Yeah, man, my wife talked to such and such wife. The wives was talking back and forth from the big leagues to a AAA wife. Oh, they calling Tiny up. They calling Tiny up. I said, okay, yeah. I believe it when the pilots say we're landing in Milwaukee. So for 2 days, they had me going up to Milwaukee. This was the first part of August. 2 days later, our first baseman get called up. The manager calls me in the office. They were gonna call you up, but I told them if you take Tiny Felder, you're taking my team right now, and we have a chance to win.
Oh, wow.
So I left out of that office steaming.
I know you did.
I had to hold a straight face, and I'm looking at this other guy going there, and then he coming out, he jumping up.
Oh.
So I had a message for the rest of the team. We better win this mess now. And we did.
Of course you did, right?
We won 3 straight in division, and then we swept the Phoenix Giants. Poor Giants.
Oh.
We swept the Phoenix Giants in
Well,
3.
you had to do what you had to do, Tiny.
So the last game was in Phoenix. We all down on field celebrating. So then the manager comes over, and it was about 5 of us off that team. We all got called up the next day. So we surfing in the grass, we doing everything. I said, finally. So the next day get called up, and they were playing the Yankees.
Wow.
So we get in. I was supposed to start. They had me projected to be in the starting lineup, but our plane got in late. So by the time we got to the ballpark, the game had already started.
Man.
So you go in, you run in, you got to stop by the general manager's office. You had to sign your big league contract because you just moved up. So I'm the last one out of the 5 because the other 4 guys, they pitchers. And I'm the one position player.
Right.
So I get down there, they give me a uniform, number 16. I give them a little 16. And I finally ends up in the dugout. It was about the 3rd inning by the time I showed up in the dugout.
Man.
And so I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, yeah, happy to be there. And I'm looking around this dugout, and everybody with these long, sad faces like, hurry up and get this season over with so we can go home.
Yeah.
The game ended up getting tied up.
Oh, no kidding.
So we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Man, Tiny, you pinch hitting for Ed Romero. You leading off the next inning. So I ended up pinch hitting for Ed Romero, backup utility infielder. Line drive base hit, left center field, first at bat. Low flying around first base.
Oh, you were styling and profiling, as we called it back in the day.
Oh man.
Right.
Because I'm still feeling the championship.
That's
because
right.
I'm coming off a championship.
That's
We just won the night before to win the championship. I'm thinking about what my ring gonna look like. And so then they like, oh, are you serious me, Felder? Is it that easy? I say, hey, I don't know about you, but shoot, I'm coming off a winning team. Y'all around here all dead and around here looking like zombies. And so, first at bat, first major league hit.
You were with Milwaukee for about, what, 5
years?
5 years,
yeah. From September 85 to 90.
Okay. You mentioned Joe Morgan and Ricky Henderson, two of our homies that we love and had great careers. Tell me about some other players that really had an impact on you as you were growing up and following the game and then really wanting to be a major leaguer yourself.
Of course, the whole Giant teams.
Yeah.
The whole A's team, because those were our teams, the Bay Area team. I wasn't a one player. I was the whole team.
The whole team.
And from one Mayor Shield to Gaylord period, because I pitched a little bit, so we all similar did the high leg kick, or you did all of the Gaylord period like you doctoring up the ball, and you did your Jim Ray Harts, and then of course we all was Tito for Winters, the clicking the back on your feet and flipping it and then getting ready. And Bobby Buns, Willie Mays, McCovey, you just went down the line.
Yeah.
And then you cross the bay, they leave, you cross the bay, and you had the Jacksons, the Rudies, and Bandos, and the Vita Blues.
Yeah.
So I had a team. The whole team was my favorite.
All right, so let's talk about coming home and signing with the Giants. Milwaukee released you?
Milwaukee released me. Have a release on my resume.
That's all right. It brought you home. It brought you home.
And it was shocking. I came off a pretty good year for a player coming off the bench. I hit 274. I was second on the team in stolen bases again. I stole like 26 bases, which was my thing, base stealing. And to be released, I was like, are you kidding me? Because when they released me, the team had just broke camp. They had left. So I'm sitting in the hotel, everybody gone, because I'm on waivers. So you have 72 hours to clear waivers.
Right.
So I don't know where I'm going.
Oh, my gosh.
So I'm just sitting there. I have to wait 72 hours, see if I clear waivers,
right,
and then wait on the phone to ring.
Oh, my gosh.
So I sat in Arizona. All of a sudden, 72 hours, as soon as that last second must have clicked, hotel phone rang. Hello? Mike, Al Rose and Roger Craig. Huh? We'd like to have you. What? I'd love to be in San Francisco. Yeah, we love to have you. All right, I'm on my way. Click. Hopped in that Ford Explorer. We bounced. I came flying home, and they was in the middle of the Bay Bridge series.
Oh, my goodness.
So
perfect, right?
So I drove home. I drove that whole Friday listening to the game. That helped me get up the road, listening to the game and everything. And then I suited up Saturday and Sunday.
For the Bay Bridge series.
For the Bay Bridge
Appropriately
series.
enough, your two childhood teams.
Yep.
That's so great.
For the Bay Bridge series.
So this is 91?
91.
Okay, so you got to play for Hum Baby Roger Craig.
Hum Baby for 2 years.
Tell me about playing for him as your skipper.
Skip was funny. He was funny. I didn't know too much about Roger. I don't think they didn't realize what kind of player I really was. Mm-hmm. And so with Roger, he kind of had his set line up already, and then I'm coming over and I'm like, okay, I'm good. I got Kevin Mitchell in left field, Willie McGee in center field,
Wow.
Kevin Bass in right field. I can sit on the bench on this team.
Right.
All-star, MVP. I can sit on the bench here.
Yeah.
Because I have stars in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
And so whatever role that I needed to play coming off the bench, I was fine with it. I can do this role. And so with Roger, I didn't know he was so into that double switching. You hear about it, but I'm in the American League all these years. No double switching. You had a designated hitter. Nobody get taken out of the game. Mm-hmm. And then you come over here and you losing 2-0. And it's the fourth inning. The pitcher come up, he pinch hitting. Next you know, he double switch. Like, I'm in the game? In the fourth inning, fifth inning? It was like, oh, man. So it was like, wow, you play over here in this league.
Yeah.
And so with all of his double switching there, I'm loving this. I'm loving Roger Craig. I'm like, it was so crazy with Roger I didn't even want to start. Let me come off the bench, because if you came off the bench, you usually finish the game.
Gotcha.
I want to finish the game.
That's right.
And I see it would be times Kevin Bass or somebody, Kevin to make the last out, and all of a sudden, Kevin! And boy, you could just see Kevin boy wanting to just throw some knuckles. I'm out the game in the 5th inning.
Yeah.
And then you out there finishing the game. And that's the best part. You want to be on the field when you finish.
That's right.
So I love Roger. I love Roger in that aspect. And then I found out how he coached me. Whenever I would get hits, he would play me again. I get a hit, he'd play me again. So I'm like, okay. I remember I was player of the week. I had a 9-game hitting streak. I'm like, how am I player of the week? First of all, when I was sitting on the bench to start the week. And then I thought they was playing some tricks on me, because they had a lot of pranksters that like to play them tricks on you. I'm like, player, wait a minute, that guy hit that player of the week stuff. But I was player of the week one week, and I had a 9-game hitting streak.
Okay.
We come home off the road trip. We played San Diego, and Andy Bennis, who was their ace, blanked me. I think I went over for, okay, what time he done cooled off? I'm like, cooled off? I had 9-game issue, I'm player of the week. Back to the bench.
Wow.
So then I figured out, I said, okay, as long as I get hits, he keep playing me.
Right.
So my thing was, I tried to get hits. I didn't care how I got it, just get a hit. Get a hit, he gonna play you again.
Yeah. Something that is super impressive and so significant, because your time with the Giants was short, but you did receive the Willy Mac Award, which was that 91 or 92?
92.
92. You received the Willy Mac Award. Now, that says a lot about you and the spirit and the leadership you brought to the team, but you got to tell me what that meant to you. Were you surprised by that, or what did it mean to you to receive that award?
Oh, absolutely, I was surprised. Most of the time when guys win awards, it's somebody that's playing regularly. It's somebody that's a regular, a starter, or a starting pitcher, somebody that's out there regular. I didn't know they was paying attention to me clowning it, because I was one of the clubhouse clowns. I'm trying to keep everybody loose, and hey, come on, we got a chance to win.
But that's important.
And I'm dancing. If I'm not playing, I had to do something to keep my mind off of, man, I ain't playing. I got to do something to stay ready. So I'm dancing in the clubhouse, and so they say, Tiny, you won the Willy Mac. I'm like, what? So then I goes out there, and it's just me and Willie. We stand out there, and I remember that day, boy, like it was yesterday. It was cold, there's wind blowing, and this before the game, man. The game hadn't even started.
Right.
And I remember they was public address announcer, they talking, they going through. I'm like, man, come on, man, this wind is blowing, man. And by the time he finally mentioned Willie Mac Award and Willie waving, and 1992 Willie Mac Award, Mike Felder, Tiny Felder. I was so chill, I couldn't even talk. It was like the Yankees, when they had Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig, they were that's how I was. I couldn't even get any words out. I want to thank my teammates, the players, the coaches. I was shaking. I'm like, hurry up and get this thing so I can get up out of here.
Right.
And that's how it was back then.
Wow.
I get the award, take it on back inside, and everybody, hey, good, hey, hugging everybody inside the clubhouse.
Yeah.
Man, thanks, man. Thanks, man.
It's a big deal, though. Even then, it was a big deal. I know it's a big production now, but it's a big deal. And I know we both got to know Mr. McCovey over the years and everything. And talk to me a little bit about the relationship that you developed with him over the years.
Well, Willie, he was pretty quiet. He was a quiet guy. He just, you more just went up to him and started talking, because he wasn't gonna come to you. He wasn't gonna just start talking to you. You had to go, hey. And I always acknowledge him, because I've been watching Willie from afar ever since I was little. I'm in the backyard, stretch. We doing all of his stretching and imitating him, batting and everything. And so I felt I've been knowing Willie since the 60s, late 60s.
Right, because we grew up.
Because I grew up with him. And so to be associated with him and have his, man, it was the best award that I had, because I had 2 Player of the Week awards in San Francisco. Those are the only other 2 awards I had. So to win Willie Mac, I'm like, wow.
That's a pretty big deal. And along those same lines, because like I said, we're Bay Area kids, and now we're around all of our idols from our childhood. So, well, I have to ask you about getting to know Mr. Mays as well.
Oh, man.
Because he's always around, which is the coolest thing, how often he's at the ballpark. But talk to me about your relationship with the other Willie, Mr. Mays.
Oh, Willie. And you almost had to bring the paramedics out there to come pick me up. We in spring training. Of course, I'm an outfielder. Here come Willie out there with his glove. We out there shagging fly balls, and he out there talking to us about catching balls and two hands and your feet work and all that. And then I'm like, here's May. Somebody I used to go out in front of the house and do the basket catch. I used to run and make my hat fly off to my head like him. The hat always fly off. And then the little bow leg, I had bow legs, so you had the little crooked leg. I used to try to run like him, everything.
That's great.
And doing a little his batting stance, elbow all up in it. And now I'm sitting here with the hate, and he giving me instructions.
What is that?
The best player in the game of baseball. Ever.
Without question.
And I'm sitting here. Oh, you almost had to bring the oxygen out for me.
Got a little emotional, didn't you? How could you not, right?
And then he had me in the batting cage one time. And he gave me and Willie McGee a tip one time. He said, "You two guys, y'all have a lot of power for your size, but you're too busy trying to run. Don't worry about running. Hit the ball, then run." He said, "Y'all strong." He said, "Y'all not little. Y'all might be a little short, but you ain't little. Y'all some stocky little dudes." He said, but he recognized how strong we were, and we had a lot of power. But Willie playing on turf in St. Louis, and me being from Milwaukee, bunting and running, everything about running speed. And he said, "Stay there, swing, keep both hands on the bat, so you can use your full potential, your power." And when he told me that, when Willie told me, "Don't worry about running," because that's all I heard coming up. Oh, yeah, because they had the clock on us all the time. If you didn't run a 3-2, 3-3 down the line, you wasn't running, you wasn't hustling.
Right.
And so we used to swinging and running. And Willie said, "Man, keep both hands on that." He said, "Man, you got to hit the ball first
before you run." Oh. Changed it up on you.
When he told me that, I was falling out of the battle because I'm back-legging. Willie told me to keep both hands, swing all the way through.
There you go. Well, I appreciate you sharing all these great memories and all these great stories. Look at that tiny Felder smile, everybody. And this is a tradition we must toast at the end of every episode of Forever Giants. Thank you once again to Silver Oak Cellars. Thank you, Mike Tiny Felder.
Thank you, Renel, for having me.
Cheers to you.
Cheers.